Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Out of the Ice. So we are now in November. We are supposedly past Spooky Month, but as we're recording this, the election has not been decided, so it is still very, very spook.
Very scary. It's the day after November 3rd. One may say November 4th, and we still don't know the full results as of right now.
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully, a certain candidate will win and will end the Orange Menace. But I'm not naming any names. You know, there's the one I voted for, and then Hitler 2, now in orange. But that's all I'm gonna say about it. I'm not gonna mention them by name, because that would be very tacky. You know, there's just one that actually knows what being a politician and being the president is, and then there's one that hosted The Apprentice. But anyway, we still kind of want to be spooky mode, because due to the Orange Menace, our Halloween was basically stolen from us.
it was depressing as hell. Like, the two of us had nothing to do. We walked outside at like 10:30 at night just hoping for any sign of spooky life, and we found nothing. It was so sad.
So if you're wondering why I'm being especially harsh to the spray tan dipshit, it's because I'm bitter. My favorite holiday was stolen from me on a year that it would have been the perfect one. There was a full harvest moon. It was on a Saturday. Everything fell into place, and then he showed up.
Weather wasn't even that bad either.
No. So
Last Halloween it snowed, so
instead, we're bringing Spooky back.
Spooky 2.0.
And by doing that, we are going to check out a classic. Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Hanukkah. So,
Before you bring out the pitchforks, I've seen this movie. My mother insists that I seen and adored this movie as a kid.
I still think she's confusing you with your sister.
Probably confusing me for my sister, but I'm not sure if I've actually ever seen this movie as a kid. Maybe scenes here and there, because I don't remember anything about it. All I know is that Jack and Sally are extremely popular characters and are basically the faces of Halloween at this point.
Well, they're the faces of Halloween at Hot Topic, Spencer's, and Disney.
That's fair, yeah.
And with many, many, many shippers. But, which is weird, because it's pretty canon, but the shippers, man, they see anything and they're just like, kiss. Which is weird, because, well, I won't get into it and spoil stuff. But, yeah, so this was made by Tim Burton while he was at Disney. He was at Disney for a while. He was an artist. I think he was a cleanup animator, I believe. But I know he did some stuff on Fox and the Hound, and I think that was his first project. So, and he, of course, went on to do a bunch of different stuff. Edward Scissorhands, this... Corpse Bride, pretty much anything that shows up in Hot Topic, he probably had a hand in. The first Batman was a Tim Burton.
Yep,
we've talked about that.
Yeah, I remember that.
The second Batman was also Tim Burton, but I think he was just producer at that point, maybe. But I forget at this point. But yeah, so this is what a lot of people think is his magnum opus, I believe. I, on the other hand, think that his remake of Dumbo is shit, which is not a very, it's not a very hot take. That's pretty common.
Pretty universal opinion.
Yeah. Well, I pretty much think that at this point, Tim Burton seems to have lost any bit of caring or motivation.
Just kind of phoning it in for the ka-ching-ka-chings.
Yeah, because anytime that there's a passion project that he seems to have, it seems to always get canceled. So
Tired.
I kind of don't blame the dude, but also he made an Alice in Wonderland remake that just shits all over the original. So, whatever. But yeah, we are going to talk about that because I have always viewed Nightmare Before Christmas as a Thanksgiving movie. It's obsessed with Christmas, right after Halloween and doesn't talk about Thanksgiving at all. So it just encompasses the whole month. But yeah, we've already got it loaded up, ready to go. So you might be hearing the PS4 hum, and we'll be back, everyone. Welcome back. We are now back from having watched Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And if you did not pause when we did to go watch the movie, this is your last chance. So we're now about to start talking about it. So first things first, general thoughts. Kat, what did you think?
Alrighty. So the first thing that was striking to me when the movie started, the animation. It was This is stop motion, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looked hella impressive.
Yeah.
Like it
Wires and clay.
It aged really well, and it was really cool. Like, it really added to the atmosphere and tone of the movie.
I hope you guys can't hear that, but there have been cop cars with their sirens on just going up and down the street.
For like the past 10 minutes.
Just up and down the street.
We waited to start the podcast.
Yeah, until they faded off. Now they're coming back.
Anyway, back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
So the animation, like, it was really cool because it looked very realistic, but obviously not real at the same time. I don't know I'm trying to think of the best way to explain that.
Yeah, because I think I get what you mean.
Like,
realistic
is...
Well,
I guess lifelike,
Are
maybe?
you saying it's fluid? Like the movement?
Not necessarily just the movement, just...
Because it's not like the character design is very realistic.
Oh,
it's
no.
very exaggerated, very stylized.
I guess I'm talking more about, like, just the setting, the backgrounds.
Okay.
What struck me the most was kind of the beginning, though.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily call it realistic, but I would say that it looks very lived in, which makes it believable.
Yeah, like, they look like everything. The character design was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the fluidity was really, really good. Because it took me a little bit to kind of be like, wait a second, I'm dumb. This is stop motion.
Which, it's kind of interesting because a lot of movies now that look like they're stop motion are not stop motion.
Oh, no.
Unless they're made by, like, Leica Studios, they're usually not stop motion. They're CGI made to look stop motion.
Yeah.
And usually they don't do as well. But, you know. Mm-hmm. But the ones that actually are stop motion usually at least become cult classics. Like Coraline.
Yeah.
Which, that movie scared the shit out of me as a kid. I loved it.
Yeah, same.
And I was a fucking scaredy cat kid. You know? Like, it's weird. I went from a very brave kid to then immediately just absolute scaredy cat, hide under the bed kid. And then eventually went back to more of likes horror. Like, when I was, like, really, really little, I watched, Dracula, Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Night of the Living Dead, all that stuff. But the problem is then, I was still pretty young, but we'd gotten past all that 50s stuff. And then we got to the stuff that actually has blood and gore and, like, is more grounded in reality, and that's part of the horror. And that jump up was just too much, and it fucked with me. I had nightmares for a year, embarrassingly, after watching the horror comedy Idle Hand. But I think I might have mentioned this in a podcast before, but I think it was just the fact that, like, the idea of the devil or some demonic evil entity possessing a part of my body while I'm asleep and killing my loved ones and just leaving me to discover it, that is a very fucked up idea to put into a kid's head.
Yeah.
Like, it's very not good. And I'm not blaming the filmmakers. I wasn't supposed to watch it. I'm blaming my shit dad. Who didn't realize, oh wait, this might be too recent of a horror movie for this kid. Also, there was a fucked up scene where, he grabs some peanut butter, like, with a knife, and, like, before he puts it into the knife, he's not paying attention. You see that there's dried blood on it. So he, like, eats that. You later find out it's from his parents.
Oh.
Yeah. very gross movie. Looking back on it now, very funny moments, especially the zombie friends, but maybe we'll watch it someday. But back then, fucked up. This movie never fucked me up. I watched it many a time as a kid. Surprisingly, I realized watching it now, I had completely forgot about the ending.
Yeah, like, we'll get to it eventually, but, like, we mentioned earlier that we're not sure if, like, it's like, was I really the one that watched this movie, or was it my sister? I'll have to ask, like, my family later, but I have a kind of, during the whole Oogie Boogie sequence at the end, I got some vague recollection that I think my sister was, like, scared shitless by Oogie Boogie.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
Like, he is the most threatening character in the movie, which makes sense. He's the antagonist. Although, it's weirdly one of those movies where, like, the main character and the main antagonist don't meet until they fight.
Yeah, and because
they talk about each other. They clearly know each other.
One more thing. Leave that no-account Oogie Boogie out of this!
Whatever you say, Jack. Of course, Jack. Wouldn't dream of it, Jack.
Each other. But they never interact directly until then. So, as a kid, I never questioned that. As an adult, I'm like, man, that does kind of cheapen Oogie Boogie. Because, like, we know that Jack doesn't like him because of the way that he talks about Oogie to the trick-or-treater kids. Lock, Shock, and Barrel. But we never see them interacting because Oogie's never in Halloween Town, aside from that one time where he's the shadow on the moon.
Yeah.
For some reason, that's one of his powers, I guess. But it just does make their conflict seem a little bit more unearned. Like, Jack's not there because he also, he's actually not there because he doesn't like Oogie. He's there to get Sandy Claus. Which, how he knows, like, he expressly told Lock, Shock, and Barrel not to involve Oogie, and Jack's kind of an idiot, so...
Yeah, I felt like really most of the movie, like, yeah, Oogie Boogie was, like, the final sequence, antagonist and all that, but, like, it really felt like the whole movie was just kind of like a Jack fighting himself, like, trying to figure out what he actually
It's Jack fighting his own starry-eyed idiocy. Yep. He's basically found this new thing, and he's like an 8th grader. Like I forget the word for it in Japanese, but Japanese people have a term that basically translates to 8th grader disease, and that is that there are some kids that get so into anime that they start talking like anime characters. Like over inflecting, and like instead of talking like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool, or oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, so, and that there are kids that were like that here too.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Jack is being. He's just being that, like, oh fuck, this Christmas thing, this is my new identity. In all forms but physical, I am a Christmas. And it's definitely more of a character piece about Jack, and kind of like a meta commentary about Halloween itself. I will say that I noticed upon rewatching it that there's a bit of a troubling moral that could be garnered from this, which is never step outside your role.
Yes, you hit the point that I'm like, I need to absolutely write this down.
Yeah,
because like, there was a lot I adore about this movie. I was going on about the animation. I wanted to get all the good out before I start bashing on the... Okay, because the impression I got with the character piece is Jack is just kind of getting tired of all the dullness of his usual life. Yeah. Because, like, yeah, he's the Pumpkin King, but he's in a rut. So, but he sees Christmas, gets inspired. Inspired! He gets inspired, tries something different. It blows up in his face spectacularly, but then... he's out of his rut. So I'm like... Yeah. What?
Well, I think the way that it's supposed to come across is that he tried it, wasn't the best at it, but he did do something different, and now is like essentially he took a vacation. Like
Yeah.
he took a vacation from his normal day-to-day routine. You know, got into fucking bird watching or something for a bit, came back, and now he's ready to pencil push again. But
yeah, like, and it was troubling too with Sally just trying to stop him, like when she could.
yeah, and so like,
And again, I understand it was from good intentions, but like, girl, don't.
yeah, well, like,
You gotta let the idiots sink or swim sometimes.
well, the problem is that he wasn't just endangering himself.
Okay,
at that point.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, let's be honest here. That one grandma that we only see in silhouette, she's fucking dead. That wreath strangled her to death.
Yeah.
Let's just admit. Also, I wonder if that was a stop motion, because the proportions of it and the way that it moved, I actually wonder if it was just like one of the film team, and they just filmed the shadow and then imposed it into the movie. You know, just somebody like that's a thing that if I looked up trivia, I didn't for this episode, and was like, oh, the shadow of the old lady was actually played by Burton himself, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. You know? But yeah, so like I don't think that was an intentional moral. I actually think very opposite is supposed to be the moral of, you know, people can be more than one thing. But maybe also with the added warning of don't fucking take it too far. Because let's also be honest here. In his exploration of Christmas, Jack steals, kidnaps, possibly murders, endangers the public. Like,
I mean, and I just wonder, like, yeah, there's a lot of moral. There's a lot going on with this moral, but again, I'm trying to think of this from a kid's perspective too.
yes. Speaking on Jack, he is a person who's very good at what he does, meaning he's very attention detail oriented. You know, he's kind of separate from everybody else. You know,
yeah.
he doesn't necessarily not get along with them or not understand them.
Yeah, people adore him.
Yeah,
but
people love him.
But they do treat him something different.
Yeah, and possibly that's because he might be a king. Like, that's the thing.
I figured it was just like his character, like for Halloween or something.
Maybe they never really go into it.
They don't. Yeah.
Like, you know, all of the characters tend to hold the title of Pumpkin King as something that has honor to it. You know, like as something that means something, that has power, that has importance. We never find out what that is. Like, we don't know if it's just an honorary title. We don't know if it's basically the same thing as event coordinator. We don't know if he actually technically is the king of Halloween Town. I mean, it kind of seems like it. The mayor looks to him for stuff to do, but the doctor doesn't treat him like a king. None of the other people really treat him like a king. You know, they don't say my liege. They don't say your highness. They just say, oh, hey, what's up, Jack?
Yeah.
Which maybe he's just very non-formal about it. But I don't know.
It seems like Jack would want to be an approachable guy anyway, so...
Yes. Which is odd for a person whose whole job it is to make people shit themselves and scream. But, especially that one guy in Kentucky who knows him as Mr. Unlucky. It's from the song Jack's Lament. To a guy in Kentucky, I'm Mr. Unlucky, and I'm known throughout England and France.
Oh, yeah.
Which, that brings up the music. I forgot how much this feels like an opera.
I was like, halfway through, I was thinking, like, am I watching a music? I'm like, I didn't realize that I was watching a musical.
Yeah, no. Nightmare Before Christmas is a musical through and through. Like, I would say half of the dialogue is in songs.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's a song, at least every 2 minutes? You know, like, it seems like there's one nearly everything. Like, Halloween Town ends and immediately it goes into Jack's Lament. Mm-hmm. You know, there's one scene in between, well, technically two scenes. Two scenes between Jack's Lament and What's This?
Yes.
You know, and then immediately after that is the town hall meeting song. Then after that is, I believe, Something's Up with Jack, I believe. Then he gets the idea that Christmas will be theirs. Then it's Lock, Shock, and Barrel's song.
Yes.
Then Making Christmas, Oogie's song. And then after that, there's really nothing. Well, Sally's Lament.
Yeah.
Sally's Lament, which that's before Oogie's. And then until like the 2 Lament songs are reprised, there's really nothing. But yeah, no, it's a musical. It is very much a musical. Literally, Jack is being voiced by Danny Elfman, who used to be, I believe, the lead singer in Oingo Boingo, who are the guys who did Weird Science. Weird Science!
Man, 2020 robbed Coachella of a Danny Elfman performance. That would have been really cool to see.
Oh, I wonder if he would have pulled out some Nightmare Before Christmas. Probably.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. At the very least, he would have done...
at least a nod to it somewhere.
He would have at least done, like Jack's Lament or Halloween Town, I'd assume. Mm-hmm. Maybe Oogie's song. I think he wrote that, too. Mm-hmm. Oogie's song probably would fit more with Coachella.
Yeah.
But, because, like, the others are very operatic. A lot of them are, kind of slow song. Well, what's this? Actually, would work at Coachella very much.
Very energetic and fun. People are there to fucking party. So,
but even then, that one still has, it's upbeat, but it still kind of feels operatic. It feels like it belongs on the stage.
But yeah, the music, from the moment we finished watching the movie, all through today, up to this point, I've had music from the whole thing stuck in my head. It was great.
Wait until you hear the friggin' Panic at the Disco covers. But
Ooh.
And Marilyn Manson, I believe, did a cover. The one that gets covered the most, I believe, is Halloween Town.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
This is Halloween, pumpkin scream in the dead of night.
I mean, it also makes sense because that would be like the Kingdom Hearts level, like that's what you'd be hearing in the background.
Yeah. Of course, the heartless need a heart. But I was kind of expecting you to laugh at that. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's okay, Scott.
Is this thing on? But yeah, like it's very character driven. But the plot is that it starts right on Halloween night, and literally right at the end of Halloween night. Essentially, all the Halloween shit has been going down already, and they're just doing their like little celebratory parade, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that's actually, you know what? That kind of brings more credence to your idea that the Pumpkin King is the character he does.
Yeah.
Because it would make sense that then he takes off the costume there in the final finale. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Which that is a very cool effect, for stop motion.
Yeah.
Setting a thing on fire, then it falls into water, all of which is clay. Like, everything would be clay and or visual effects added. But, like, I don't know how many visual effects were added. I mean, the fucking bats are literally just bats on strings. If you look close enough when they're flying against the moon, you can fucking see the string.
Oh, okay.
Of course, I'm sure they probably did, like, editing tricks, like, cuts between different takes and stuff like that. But, match cutting. But, yeah, then he rises out of the water, and it's just like, all right, great Halloween, everybody. And then, like, as soon as he's out of the crowd, he's like, fucking God, I'm so bored.
Yeah, just kind of runs away and starts singing about how he's
passes by my favorite characters, the jazz band. And the one and the two and a I love them. They're almost always playing the tune to Sally's Lament, which I don't know why. I don't know why they're necessarily... unless they were just trying to set up that diegetic theming there.
Yeah.
But, like... So he goes to the graveyard, gets his dog, and he's just kind of singing about how, like, I am fucking bored. I'm bored with my lot in life. You know, I don't necessarily not appreciate it anymore, but I know that there's more to this. Essentially, it's his princess song.
Yeah.
You know, I want more.
Sally's just kind of in the background creeping and watching all this go down.
Oh, Jack, I know how you feel. I sure do.
Yeah.
Very different situation. You are actually a prisoner. He's just bored. I think you're in the worst. Well, that's the thing. They treat her like she's kind of in a prisoner sort of thing, but she can apparently escape whenever the fuck she wants.
Yeah, she made it look easy.
Yeah. Constantly poisoning the doctor. Like, literally, she can just fucking jump out a high window and put herself back together. Like, it's not hard for her to escape.
No.
I don't know. And I don't know what the fuck the money system is in Halloween Town. It almost seems like there isn't any. Who has a job? Like, the mayor apparently was elected. But I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
You know? Which I also love the mayor character. I hated him when I was a kid, but now I'm like, I get it.
I'm just an elected official.
It's just the personification of social anxiety.
Oh.
I'm just gonna put up this very happy, go-getting front, and then as soon as anything doesn't go according to plan, switch the face over, panic.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you put it that way, I get it.
Yeah, like literally, Jack just didn't answer his door immediately, and
Jack, please, I'm only an elected official here. I can't make decisions by myself.
Oh God, it's relatable and I hate it.
So Jack wanders through the whole night through this forest and comes across these trees, right? And it's weird. I always thought it was weird that in Kingdom Hearts the trees are not in the same position.
Huh.
It's literally just the Christmas one on its own and then the others in the background that you can't get to. They're like on the hill that counts as an invisible wall.
Oh, you know what? I remember that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird.
And in Christmas Town, there's literally just the one tree and no other portals. Like, no other portal trees. And I think that might be the same for the movie. Because he falls out of the tree and is just on a hill. And, like, it doesn't seem to be a circle of trees.
I was going to say, is it supposed to be symbolism of you fall from Halloween and immediately go into Christmas?
Yes, but...
But even though there is a...
Like, literally, he looks at Thanksgiving
door.
and immediately passes it.
Yeah.
Like, I think it does. Like, he looks at one, it's the Thanksgiving one, immediately turns his head and is enamored with the Christmas one. You know?
What would it be in Thanksgiving store?
Probably just a bunch of pilgrims making smallpox blankets while preparing a false feast.
In-laws.
Oh, are we talking about...
Are we talking... Which Thanksgiving... Yeah, you know what? Which version of Thanksgiving are we talking about?
Are we talking about what Thanksgiving is today? Or the sort of, like, mythologized origin of Thanksgiving?
You know what? Yeah, that one would make more sense. But then there's also...
Because like,
what
if
about
it's just the modern idea of Christmas, then that would also just be in-laws yelling. All of them would just be in-laws yelling. Halloween would just be like, your fucking one way too religious aunt that says you're all going to hell.
Yeah, no. Remember, there was a St. Patty's store. Now that one would be a bunch of belligerent drunks at a St. Patty's parade.
No. Again, if we're talking about it's the mythologized origin, it would be a priest punching dragons. Because that's what St. Patrick did, unless I'm mistaken. I think he's the one who drove the dragon snakes out of Ireland. Like, that's what he supposedly became a saint for. He drove the snakes out of Ireland. But some tellings say he drove the dragons out of Ireland. So it would literally just be a priest, like a ripped-ass paladin priest, punching dragons in the face.
You know what? I like that.
Like, if you go through the 4th of July door, it would literally just be the Revolutionary War.
Oh, God. It's Danielle, like, I'm never going to make it. Like,
You
just
know?
watch people die in the fucking yeah.
Hanukkah would be a bunch of Hebrew people in the desert panicking that they don't have enough oil for the candle, and then fucking losing their minds when the oil that was only supposed to last for like what 2 nights lasted for 12. Is it 12 of Hanukkah?
I think. Oh god.
It can't be 12, right? No, because if so, that's really fucked up that there's a song called 12 Days of Christmas.
Oh, what? Let me. Oh no.
No, it's got to be 10, right?
No, I'm googling this. Oh no.
How many nights of Hanukkah are there?
Oh no.
Shit.
Hanukkah.
Forgive us. Neither of us are Jewish.
How do you spell Hanukkah? Not Hannah Montana. Hanukkah.
Good luck. It's a Hebrew word. I think.
It's. I get how many days
How many nights?
or how many?
I think they focus more on the nights.
8. Okay.
Okay. Because I was just about to say, wow, Christmas. That's well right fucked up. It's like, oh, Hanukkah's got 12 days. We'll take them.
Oof.
Yeah. I mean, shit. ABC is already like the 30 days of Christmas. Though, granted, I think ABC does that, but then they also now do the 31 days of Halloween. Fair. Now we just need the 31 days of Thanksgiving. Sorry. Could not say that with a straight face. I'm not a good actor. But yeah. So that's something always just made me so upset that we never got to see the other ones. The most that we get is that we see the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, knowing that Easter is a Christian, like, taking of pagan holidays, which, I mean, Christmas is too.
Yeah.
Like, no, seriously.
No, I know.
Jesus was born in July,
Yep.
or at least around that time. And essentially just every pagan religion usually had a winter festival. You know, the winter solstice, or I think Saturnalia was one. Either that or that's one of the Easters. But and they literally were just like, Jesus was born here. This is Christmas now. Come on, pagans, you're Christian now. So, you know, fun little fact there that any
Just think about that next time you go to church for Christmas.
yeah. If you want to go to church to celebrate Jesus' birth, go in July.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it wasn't here. It wasn't in December. So Jack gets to Christmas Town, and my favorite song starts. I just think it's the catchiest.
Oh yeah. What's this?
What's this? What's this? There's color everywhere. What's this? There's wet things in the air. What's this? I can't believe my eyes. I must be dreaming. Wake up, Jack. This isn't fair.
What's this? What's this? What's this? There's something very wrong. What's this? There's people singing songs. What's this? The streets are lined with little creatures laughing. Everybody seems so happy. Have I possibly gone daffy? What is this?
Yeah. It's definitely the most upbeat and fun.
That's pretty much all there is to that scene, except we get a little shadow of Santa. And then, cuts to the next morning. The mayor shows up to Jack's door and is already like, I've got the plans for next year's Halloween. I'm like, those must be some shitty-ass plans, dude. You made those in one night?
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell, a normal event that is coordinated takes, like, at least weeks. Like, if you're doing it right. If you're doing it shitty, then it's gonna be a shitty event. But, like, you've got a whole fucking year, dude. Fucking take some time to plan thoroughly. Also, you've been planning for, what, at least a whole year last year. Take a day.
No wonder Jack is so,
Yeah.
like, burned out.
Poor asshole. He's got no breaks. You know? But then again, like, also apparently he can take breaks whenever the fuck he wants, because this whole other time that he's planning for Christmas, they're not planning for Halloween. I assume.
I was under the impression that they were preparing for Halloween as Christmas.
No, they were preparing for Christmas to take it.
Okay.
They're just like, nope, this year we're doing Christmas.
Okay.
But, and like it even says, you know, when he's doing his like little reprise of Jack's song after he gets shot down, he says he's got new ideas for next year's Halloween. Mm-hmm. So it's like that's just been put on hold. So again, why the fuck are you bringing plans the day after, man? Let the man rest. Guess what? Creativity is a muscle that you need rest days for too. I know. Artist block. It's a thing. It sucks. You know? Like sometimes you just gotta step away from the tablet or the sketch pad or anything because you're like, I can't get this line right.
The crochet hook.
I can't get it right. I can't get it right. You know, and you have like...
How do you shape?
Yeah, and you have like that just like slight, you know, millisecond anxiety thought of like you're losing your talent. You'll never be able to draw again. Maybe that's just me.
No,
but,
no, it's totally me. I haven't crocheted in like 3 days, and I always, anytime I take a period longer than like 2 days, I always think I'm like, oh no, I suck again.
But yeah, so Jack is revealed to have been back, stolen a snowmobile, stolen a shit ton of stuff, actually.
Yeah, like it didn't even register until Scott's like, hi, I stole a bunch of shit. I'm like, wait, oh.
Hello, everyone, I stole this shit. I mean, it's obviously not Halloween Town colors.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, none of it is. The bag's not, the sled's not, anything. Like, he stole that shit. Somehow pushed it through the door. That or he found a way back that wasn't through the door. Like, which, that's another question, you know, like, when he's, like, researching Christmas, why didn't he just go back to Christmas Town and look at it firsthand?
Yeah.
There's even a song, a line in that song where it's like, you know, something waiting through a door, though I do not have the key. I'm like, I don't remember that door having a key, man. You just turned the knob and fell. Just fell, did a little bit of an Alice in Wonderland parody. Oh. But God, I hate how squeaky this chair is. Every single chair I get, after I sit in it like 2 times with my fat ass, it's just squeaky, 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 squeaky. And I'd get one that wouldn't, but they're so expensive.
Yeah.
And I'm so poor.
It was amazing. Completely off topic, but I had to go back to my work office a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I took one sit in one of the office chairs there, and I immediately went like, oh God, this is what a good office chair is supposed to feel like?
Yeah.
I've forgotten. God, my chair sucks.
I've never experienced that. That one time I was in a call center, they basically had the exact same chair I have right now.
Oh, that sucks.
Actually, worse.
Oh, well, your call center sounded like it sucked.
Yeah. Well, yours is a government job.
Yeah.
You're the man.
I get taken care of very well at
I suddenly am wearing a beatnik hat.
Get taken very well care of at my dumb government job.
Yeah. But, you know. So Jack comes back and is like, call a town meeting. And the mayor's like, what? When? Now! And so, you know, he's trying to explain Christmas to these people who somehow don't know about it. Like, it's weird because, I don't know, it kind of is implied that Santa might have known about Halloween Town. Mm-hmm. Maybe. But, I don't know, it's weird. It's crazy what these people know and don't know. They know what Kentucky is. They know what England and France is. So clearly they go to the outside world. You know, they're not just stuck.
Maybe it's just like some sort of Monsters, Inc. deal where they go in the real world really quick to scare people.
But the monsters seem to know a lot more. In Monsters, Inc., they know a lot about human culture. Mm-hmm. Like, it's even been proposed in theories that they just, at one point, split off in history. Like a Feywild thing. And so, but anyway, it's just weird that they clearly have interaction with the outside world, but I don't know if that's just normally it's only on Halloween or what have you. And also, again, there's a lot of implied murder in their Halloween festivities. Yeah. The vampires win an award for most blood drained in a single night. Also, I don't know who the fuck else would be up for that award. But they killed some people.
Yeah.
They fucking killed some people. This is not Scary Godmother. But, so he's trying to explain Christmas to these guys, and they're just not getting it. They're just not getting it. You know, it's like where everyone is just all Halloween all the time. Nobody fucking knits. Like, you know, nobody fucking just is like, I also like croquet or something like that. They're just all Halloween
all the goddamn time.
And, you know, as a kid, I was like, hell yeah, that sounds like the place to be. But now I'm just like, I mean, sounds like the place to be in October. That sounds like a fucking party all month long. But then eventually I'd be like, all right, calm it down.
All right, let's jump into a different tree now.
Yeah, let's fucking calm it down. Mm-hmm. Calm it down. I'd like to go to a water park once. You know, like, but like there's even a point later in the movie where they see snow and they've never seen snow before. And I'm like, bullshit. You haven't seen snow.
Last Halloween, when you and Tristan came to visit,
it fucking snowed.
Yeah.
Just another thing of like, this was clearly made on the West Coast where it never fucking snows. And the only reason they know about snow is because of Christmas movies that take place in places where it snows, usually New York, because nobody thinks about the Midwest. He's trying to teach these people about Christmas, but they're not getting it. So eventually he's just like, fuck it, I'm just going to explain it in ways that they get. So he literally starts making it sound more threatening, you know, by describing a Santa Claus as Sandy Claus. But then they kind of fuck up that joke a little bit, in my opinion, because then when Santa shows up being kidnapped, he's like, why, you don't have claws at all, they're just hands. Mm-hmm. You're not nearly as threatening as I thought you were. I'm like, I thought you were just lying. I thought you were just lying for the crowd. What? Did you buy into your own fucking lie? You're kind of stupid, so I guess that makes sense. I don't know if it was just supposed to be like, oh, there's still a crowd, so I'm playing it up still. But like, that's something that even as a kid annoyed me. Because I'm like, I thought you were just... And that's the canon now. Like, he's in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Actually, I don't know if Santa Claus is mentioned in 1. But like in 2, which takes place after the movie, he's still calling him Sandy Claus instead of Santa Claus. And it's just like, God damn, Jack, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, it shows him reading Rudolph. It shows him reading Rudolph. I think one of the other books on the shelf is A Silent Night. All of them spell Santa Claus, which is a portmanteau for Saint Nicholas. Like, in fact, I think Silent Night calls him both Santa Claus and Saint Nicholas. You know, in hopes that Saint Nicholas soon would be there. So even just like, he's supposedly researching this, trying to figure out what Christmas is. And he can't even grasp that? No wonder he fucking fails. I'm just realizing this as I'm talking. Jack's a fucking moron. He's an idiot. Maybe he can't read. Maybe he was just looking at the pictures. That's another thing. He read Rudolph. It shows him reading Rudolph. And then when the fog comes in, he doesn't immediately think to use Zero. Zero's freaking weird Rudolphy nose has to shine in his face, and at first he doesn't recognize that that's a solution. He's just like, oh, no, not now. So wait a minute. Like, he doesn't immediately just go like, oh, fog. Well, luckily I read Rudolph. Zero, get in the front.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying, whoever was working on that scene in the stop motion department, maybe you shouldn't have used Rudolph. That kind of makes a plot hole. Granted, most people probably also weren't paying attention to that. I mean, this whole movie is based off of a short poem that Tim Burton made.
Oh,
so,
okay.
You know, I don't think that plot was necessarily the biggest factor. It was more of a character piece. To the point where Tim Burton literally said, do not make a sequel. No sequels. None. So that's why there's never been a film sequel. Because Disney essentially was like, it's like, All right, you don't want to see a sequel. I hear you. We will never make a second movie. Which is why we've had a sequel game. Kingdom Hearts acting as a sequel. And then also there is a manga. But anyway, so aside from Jack being kind of a fucking moron, Sally is crushing real hard on him. Mm-hmm. And she is like, all right, I'll make some stuff for him, you know, and is just kind of like pining away for him after he accepts it. Plucks a couple things on a dandelion, I think, and it turns into a Christmas tree and explodes. And she's like, that's probably not good. That might be a bad sign.
I gotta do something.
Yeah. So from this point on, she's gone from betraying the doctor, who's pretty much moved on from her at this point. He's making a new girl. Literally puts half of his brain into it. And I'm like, you should be dead. That's not how that works.
No.
You know,
And I mean, and
flying skeletal reindeer, sure, obviously, that's just fact. But a dude taking his brain in half and putting it into another thing.
I mean, that's also just you.
What do you mean?
Like, if you're putting half of your brain into another thing.
Oh yeah, it's well, I mean, he seems to be kind of a narcissist.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, so she's now basically trying to get Jack to be like, hey Jack, maybe you should not. Maybe you shouldn't do this. And we have another scene of Jack being a fucking moron. Because, you know, she keeps going like, this is a bad idea, this is a bad idea, this is a bad idea. And he just thinks that she's being, you know, shy and unconfident about her sewing skills. She's just like, oh, I need you to make me a Santa costume. Jack, I think this whole Christmas thing is a bad idea. What do you mean? No, you'll make a great Santa costume for me. No, I'm telling you that this is all wrong. No, I'm pretty sure the colors are right. Red here, white here. Yeah, no, that's fine. No, that's how it's supposed to be. No, you'll do great. You know, and so then he gets lock, shock, and barrel and is like, hey, go kidnap Santa nicely and don't involve the guy you work for and are loyal to. So immediately they get the guy they work for and are loyal to involved. And they're like, we're going to fuck over Jack and feed Santa to the boogeyman. And then they try to kidnap Santa, but they forget which door it is, so they get the Easter Bunny instead.
That's not Sandy Claus.
It isn't? Who is it?
Bunny!
And the Easter Bunny is just fucking terrified.
Well, yeah.
At first he's just kind of bouncing around, and then the zombie with the axe in his head just goes, Bunny! In that voice. And the Easter Bunny's like, fuck! And jumps back into the bag. Jack's just like, I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience, sir. Now put him back and get Santa. And apologize again. God damn, you can't have a civil kidnapping anymore.
Yeah, just very casual about kidnapping people. Halloween Town morals must be just loony.
Again, they give out awards for murder.
Yeah.
But so eventually, you know, they're all making Christmas. They're getting excited for it, even though they're doing it absolutely wrong. Except for the freaking jack-o'-lantern Jack-in-the-Box. I feel like that one would work. Like, it, you know, when it comes to life later, you know, which apparently I guess they made the toys with too much heart. You know, they were just too into it. It came alive. But like that thing, you know, it's not like it shows its mouth moving or anything. It can't bite. It was just following its kid. You know, it's just like, no, wait, I mean,
Oh.
it was fine. That one was fine. You know, the shrunken head, yeah, that's a little traumatizing. The wreath that fucking kills that woman, yeah, that's a bit of a bad. That snake that also probably killed everybody in that house after eating the tree. I mean, we've seen it eat people. You know, it ate like they were stuffing presents into it, and he just fucking eats the dude. So it's like, yeah, they're all probably dead. So that one's a bit of an oops. But like, you know, I don't know. I feel like that jack-o'-lantern was just trying to do a good job.
Aww.
I don't think it deserved to be. And also, it gets replaced with a candy cane.
Yeah.
Because fat kid. Here you go, fat kid, have a candy cane. That's all you get. And also, to be fair, Jack tries to be a good Santa. He tries to be nice to the kid who catches him. You know, it's like, what's your name, little boy? Oh, that's okay. It's like, I've got something special for you anyway. So he is trying.
Yeah, there were good intentions there.
He's just an idiot.
Yeah.
He's just a goddamn fool. You know? Like, maybe that's it. He's not on the autism scale. He's on the stupid scale.
Completely separate scales.
Completely separate scale. And the thing is, you can be very intelligent and still be stupid.
Yeah. Look at Scott.
Yeah. Hey. I resemble that remark. Wait. Anyway. So, you know, pretty much all according to what Sally predicted, it starts going to shit. And they start trying to shoot him down. And Jack, of course, being stupid, is like, oh, they're celebrating! They're lighting off fireworks! Yay!
Oh, Jack.
They're thanking us for doing such a good job. I love how fucking deadpan the cop is, too. It's like, yes, ma'am. Yep, we've gotten calls for this. Yep, I know. Skeleton. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Sally's like, all right, I need to find Santa to fucking figure out how to stop this. So she goes and tries to find Santa. That leads her to Oogie, which, you know, she actually has a pretty decent plan to try to get Santa out of there. She uses the fact that she can control all of her limbs while they are separated. Mm-hmm. It's not really made clear if they have a mind of their own when they're separated or not. Because, like, when we first see that they can still move without her, it waves to her. Mm-hmm. Like, her severed arm waves back at her. And I'm like, did she do that just to be funny? Like, or does her arm have will of its own? You know? But who knows? Also, speaking of Sally, I like the fact that to get around her, you know, literally falling apart sometimes, instead of having it be gore, it's just leaves.
Yeah.
Like she's just filled with leaves. Autumn leaves, which is fitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she separates her leg to distract Oogie, and her hands crawl down the rope that Santa's attached to, cover his mouth, point up, you know, to where she is. It's like, Santa, I'm gonna get you out of here. Mm-hmm. You know. In fact, Sally says Santa right.
Yeah.
She says Santa right, but the only way she would have known about Santa is through Jack, who calls him Sandy Claus. So who the fuck... How does she know about shit outside of Halloween Town, but nobody else seems to? Maybe they're all drinking stupid juice.
Plot holes.
Again, it's not really a plot-heavy movie.
Yeah.
That's not the point. It's a set piece. You know? It's just, let's just do something fun.
Yeah.
And it does that. It delivers it. You know, I've been complaining about the plot holes and all this stuff. I still love this movie. I love this movie. Mm-hmm. You know,
I understand why it's kept its popularity.
Yeah.
For all these years.
Like I'm not a Hot Topic fan of this thing. You know, I don't go ham with it. In fact, actually, I try not to watch it every year, just so that people, which again I know is stupid of me to have culture dictate what I like, but I still do like it. So it's more like I get sick of it sometimes because it's so fucking pervasive. But you know, as kind of pseudo hipstery as that is to say, it's too mainstream.
I was gonna say, I'm like, oh, you're sounding like me.
Yeah, but I don't know. It gets overexposed. It's kind of like overhype. Mm-hmm. You know, when like everybody's talking about a movie and then you finally go see it and you're like, eh.
That was like my last thing. One of the last notes I wrote in they're in my journal was that this was a great movie. There were so many good things about it, but goddamn, it's overrated.
Yeah, and I think that's just because it It has so much nostalgia to it.
There's a lot of nostalgia. It stood the test of time.
Well, it came out at the exact right time, too. Because this came out in 1995, I think. You know? So that's like right when goth was getting into its modern incarnation.
Yes.
You know? We got Marilyn Manson. You know? We got I think Alice Cooper was still pretty big at that point. You know? We've got the goth. We got the emo really starting. You know? And this suddenly comes out, and that's its whole fucking aesthetic.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you know, and sure, there had been other Tim Burton movies that kind of had that aesthetic too. Batman Returns, Beetlejuice. But this one also having the factor of it being in stop motion, which is kind of, you know, like the hipster animation. You know, it's like, oh, that's animation that you actually have to make art. You know, you're not just drawing little cartoon characters, you're crafting life.
Oh, and like, that shit's so cool, and I get so frustrated as someone crochets. 3D art, kind of my thing. Your shit is just as hard. Like, there's different challenges to every art media.
Let me illustrate the illustrator's hands. This is all my knuckles.
I hate that.
Yeah, so Jack gets shot down, lands thematically appropriately in a graveyard, has a little reprise of Jack's lament, and realizes, oh, okay, yeah, no, I should go back to doing the thing I did before. Which is where the, like, accidental moral of stick to the status quo comes in. You know, which I wonder if it was Disney mandated that when they did the sequel story in Kingdom Hearts, it had to end with Santa inviting Jack into the sleigh.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of to negate that. Because they were like, ooh, we accidentally abad. You know, just kind of like that, retroactively fixing it. And so anyway, Jack goes back to Halloween Town. Meanwhile, all of Halloween Town, they've been watching these events, and they see him get shot down, and the feed cuts out, and they're like, "Oh shit, he's dead." Meanwhile, he survives the fall no problem because he's already dead. Well,
Like,
you're gonna be double dead?
Yeah, what were they expecting?
Yeah. In fact, Oogie even says that. It's like, oh, they said you were dead. Now I'm going to make you double dead. I'm like, wouldn't he just show back up here? Like,
Yeah.
it's like the South Park joke where you kill somebody in hell, they just show back up at the gates. Where was I gonna go, Detroit? But so he gets back to Halloween Town, and I did always like the reveal of Jack being in Oogie's lair, because like, you know, Oogie's lowering them into like the pot or something, and you know, he does the Marvin the Martian thing where he like, you know, he's like, ah, snake eyes or whatever, and rolls it, you know, they start to slide and he goes and like, you know, you could just cut that with Marvin the Martian going, where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom. And so to check it, he turns the fucking table back around, and it's just Jack.
Jack, like,
Just,
sup.
what's up, Oogie? You fuck up? So, and then the fight with Oogie Boogie. It's really not much of a fight.
No, it's just kind of Jack avoiding the little contraptions that are in his lair.
Which I love. It's great animation.
They're really cool.
Yeah, it's great animation, the way he's like walking across, you know, the slot machines and all that shit. It's very good. Like, it's very fun to watch. It's a very fun encounter, but it's not really a fight, you know?
And I have to say...
It's not like in Kingdom Hearts where you're Sora literally hitting Oogie over the head with a keyblade.
Hitting the dice. And,
Yeah.
Like, I have to say, just maybe, again, it's Kingdom
Roll
Hearts.
the dice!
Maybe it's Kingdom Hearts, kind of like my Kingdom Hearts brain blocking it, but like Oogie Boogie was a lot less involved in this movie than I thought he'd be.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Yeah, and it's funny because, like, he kind of dies in the same way as the Wicked Witch of the West. You know?
Yeah.
Instead of what a world, it's my bugs!
Yeah.
And they fall into lava.
That was... I was like, what the shit?
That hit you strangely strong.
Yeah, that... I don't know, something about that kind of... I mean, maybe it could have been me, maybe it could have been Liz, maybe that was what traumatized one of us.
Yeah, well, like, what was it about it? Was it the fact that the reveal of him just being a whole just thing of, like, a hive mind of bugs in a canvas sack? Or was it the fact that they were all burning to death?
Yes.
Okay. I like that even when he's all the bugs, you can still kind of see the eyes and mouth.
Yeah, like,
in the bug shapes.
And then he falls apart and falls in the lava. I'm like, this is fucked up.
Yeah, and they're all screaming "my bugs" because, like, they all see himself as one entity.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, one last one, and Santa just fucking kills him.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's not very saintly. That's not very Christian. Wait a minute. Crusades. It's very Christian. Kill things that you don't like.
Yeah.
Catholicism. I'm joking, mostly. It did happen. But, yeah, so then Santa, basically tells Jack off.
Phrasing?
Just like, fucking son of a bitch.
Stay out of my holiday.
Yeah, it's like, maybe you should leave, other holidays to their people and just stay in your little neck of the woods and never try to improve or grow as a person. I'm like, oh, so this is the Santa from Rudolph.
Yeah.
He's the king of jingling.
This whole podcast, everything was connected from the beginning, guys.
It's all connected. I don't know why, but I just thought of, we just give you the DVD to Rudolph, and I just go, does this spark joy in your life? And you just throw it in the trash.
I did kind of trash that movie, didn't I?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Which hurts me a little bit, but only because I like Yukon Cornelius. And the Bumble. Rudolph and Elf can go fuck themselves. I don't even remember the elf's name, so. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Then,
a brief little scene between
Jack and Sally where they, she kisses his bone mouth.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, I guess that happened.
I wonder how many people, when they're showing friends this movie for the first time, when that scene happens, they just lean over and go, hey, they're gonna bone.
Boo! You've been waiting for that joke, haven't you?
For about 2 minutes. 2 minutes ago, like, exactly.
What? You know what? You don't plan that far ahead. So.
I don't. But yeah, and that's the thing that always was weird to me, is that everybody treats like Jack and Sally as like the power couple,
Yeah.
The power couple of Halloween, the power couple of Disney movies. Oh my God, they're so in love. They're such a perfect couple.
What?
They don't have that many scenes together.
No.
Like, and we know that Sally likes Jack, but until that last scene where, Jack admits that he likes Sally now, there's really no inclination that he even thinks about her
in that way, yeah.
At all.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. At all.
Like,
until hey, you want to make this Santa suit?
Yeah, until the Santa suit, he never says her goddamn name. Mm-hmm. Like, when he goes to the doctor for the rain, or for whatever, to borrow the chemistry supplies, doesn't ask about where Sally is, doesn't ask how she's doing, doesn't check to see how she's doing, doesn't give a fuck. And when she brings him the care package, he's just like, oh, cool, thanks. Hey, oh, you go, huh? Whatever. Like,
yeah.
He's kind of like, oh, well, I was going to thank her. Whatever.
Back to doing what I was doing.
Yeah, whatever. Who was that girl?
Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't know. It just doesn't really seem like there was that much chemistry to them. Of course, underneath all of my bravado and stupid jokes, I am a big old softie, so when they embraced, I went, oh. But that's also because I know they're a couple. In Disney canon, like in the parks, they're always together in a meet and greet. You know, they're always on the float together. They are canonically a couple. I think in the manga, it doesn't do that sequel thing of like, oh, they broke up, but they'll get back together. I don't think it does that, which is good.
That's good.
I always hate when that happens. Like, I hate it when sequels do that because it just reeks of a writer's like, I don't know how to write relationships. Anyway, so I think that's all of my, all of the plot.
Yeah.
Do we have any closing thoughts?
All right, let me double check my notes.
My closing thoughts is I still love the movie for its style, for its technique, for the way it all came together. And I love the passion that people have for it, even if, sometimes I do think it gets a little much. I appreciate that you like it so much. That's great to have. I mean, shit, there's a whole goddamn restaurant. It's either a restaurant or a bar in LA where it's just fucking Tim Burton themed. And they have props from Nightmare Before Christmas in there. And I want to go because I want to see the fucking models. That sounds dope. If there's not a Nightmare Before Christmas set piece in a Smithsonian somewhere, that's not okay. Because let's be honest here, that should be in the Criterion Collection. It's a very important movie.
Mm-hmm. No, and I'm pretty much kind of echoing the same thing. Artistically, this movie is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. It from the backgrounds to the movement of the characters, the models, the music, everything about it artistically amazing. The plot it does its job. It's nothing super special. It didn't really the plot didn't grab me personally, and maybe it is my hipster tendencies, but because I do kind of see it everywhere, and after watching it now, I do think it's kind of overrated and a little too in your face. But
too mainstream.
I know, right? But I'm not saying that this is a bad movie. This was a great movie to sit down and watch it with your friends, sing along with the songs with them. Like it's a good time.
Yeah. And another reason I just thought of this, that I think I like Nightmare Before Christmas so much out of the Tim Burton animated stuff or CG involved stuff, there's not that many humans. I don't like how Tim Burton does humans.
Yeah.
They all just kind of look the same. I'm one to talk, but all of my human characters pretty much look the same too. I'm getting better, but I have a comfort zone. I basically start with the way I draw myself and then try to change the hair or the eyes or anything like that. But it all has the same base, aka the Toriyama style. You ever take the hair off of Gohan, Goten, and Goku? They're all the same face.
Yay.
But yeah, so I don't know. I've never really liked how Tim Burton draws or designs human characters. They all look very similar. They all have that very narrow, droopy chin, like very sunken eyes. They all just look so goddamn melancholy and morose, which I know is his style, but it gets old. I much like him drawing creatures.
Yeah, all the character designs were awesome.
Yeah, and it's always funny to me that the guy who has made his living on the macabre, on this Halloween spooky goth mindset and art style, as far as I know, his first project was he worked at Disney on Fox and the Hound. So, he was drawing puppies and foxes. I wonder if he was dying inside. Granted, I don't know how much work he did on that. I think, again, that was his first thing. So he might have just been an in-between artist, just doing some cleanups or something. But yeah, it's interesting. There are things. There's a video I saw of him recently where, as a joke, somebody was just going around the cubicles at Disney.
Yeah.
I think it was around the Sleeping Beauty times or earlier than that. And it's oh, here's one of our, new budding artists. He's a genius. How are you doing, Tim Burton? And he just starts drawing really shittily, has his mouth hanging open and goes,
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, you're doing so good, Tim. I'm just like, all right, I'm not gonna lie, Tim, that's really fucking funny.
That's very on brand for him, and I love it.
It's very on brand for him, and I think it's very funny because I feel like that's how I would see myself compared to every other Disney artist if I got hired on. Just like, oh my god, they're all so great, and here I am just trying not to fuck up.
Aww.
You know? But,
yeah, that's about all my thoughts on it.
Tim, I like that. I like The Nightmare Before Christmas. I like Batman. I like Batman Returns. I like a lot of scenes in Corpse Bride, though the whole movie is kind of forgettable. Love Beetlejuice. Still waiting for Beetlejuice Goes to Hawaii, which was the reported sequel that never got made. And I hate your Alice in Wonderland takes and your Dumbo takes. Stop doing remakes. They don't do very well with you. At least in my opinion. I know some people liked the Alice in Wonderland stuff, but I'm pretty sure those are just the people who would, you can make a movie about just you going to the bathroom and they'd be like, genius! Oh.
What?
Kingdom of Geekalon is our YouTube. Twitter is
Out of the Ice Pod.
And I'm MutagenWorks at Twitter.
Cat27.
But anyway, that's it for us, guys. Bye!
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.